Thanks for joining us here on News Channel 25 WVTT. I'm Alexa Olson.
And I'm Jeff Angelonis. Good evening. The big story tonight on Twin Tiers Evening News. Argentina is very much considered a Catholic country, but Argentinians certainly didn't expect that a cardinal from their country would be elected as Pope Francis. And as CNN's Shasta Darlington reports, the election of Pope Francis astonished the nation.
The reaction here in Argentina was much like it was around the rest of the world. People greeted it with surprise. In fact, I'm right here in front of the cathedral where the now Pope Francis celebrated Mass, and nobody was waiting for this announcement. But when it came, 200, 300, 400, 500 people rushed over here to the plaza to celebrate the first Latin American Pope, an Argentine Pope. And I think they're also very impressed with the fact that this is a man who is so dedicated to the poor. He really dedicated his life to it. And he also showed through his own example that he didn't elevate himself above the poor. When they offered him the official residence when he was made Archbishop, he said no. Instead, he chose to live in a third-floor apartment right here next to me, cooks his own meals, takes the bus to get around, gets up at 5 a.m. every morning, buys his own newspaper. Speaking to the homeless around here, he even chatted with them when he was out and about. So he's a man who's respected for his austerity, for his simplicity, and yet there is a fair amount of controversy around this figure here in Argentina, and that's because he's associated to a certain degree with the Argentine dictatorship. He was actually accused of being complicit in the kidnapping of two Jesuit priests who were released a few months later. That case was thrown out. He's denied the charges. He said that, yes, he did meet with some people within the dictatorship, but it was to try and get to free priests. It was to try and get people out of the country who were in danger. Nonetheless, this is a controversy that will certainly hang over this nomination, this election, in the short term. But for now, Argentines are thrilled. This is not something they expected. And it's just a great surprise for a nation that's actually struggling with a lot of different economic problems. Shasta Darlington, CNN, Buenos Aires.
Closer to home, Cattaraugus County's finances are in good shape, according to county officials. Last night's county legislature meeting brought good news for the second year in a row. With more on the story, let's go live to the WVTT Digital Newsroom, where WVTT's Valerie Tysaner has been following the story all day. Valerie, what's the latest?
Yeah, Jeff, you know, last night Joe Keller, the Cattaraugus County Treasurer, gave his annual treasurer report. That was for the year of 2012, and today he tells me that the county is in very good shape financially.
The county is a business, you know, just like any private business. And so what you do is you need a cushion to operate. And what that does is there are many months during the year, let's say we'll go November, December, January, where the revenues coming into the county are very low or sometimes almost non-existent. And in those periods of time, you still have to pay your bills, you still have the payrolls that are going out. For the 2013 budget, I believe the taxes went up slightly over 2%. But also a part of the budget for the 2013 year is that we did allocate roughly $3 million out of this fund balance I just gave you to help offset the costs.
And Keller says that right now the county fund balance is at a little over $31 million. That's an increase of nearly $3.5 million since the previous year. He says the figure that people are most interested in is the undesignated fund balance, and right now that's at a little over $24 million. Keller says that figure is at 15% of the 2012 budget, and it falls under the guidelines set by the New York State Comptroller's Office. The undesignated fund balance means that the county does have a little bit of money left over. Like I said earlier, it's at $24 million. That means that when the county needs to pay bills and it's having a slow month revenue-wise, it is able to pull from that balance so they don't have to borrow from other people. In the WVTT Digital Newsroom, I'm Valerie Tysaner. Back to you in the studio.
Valerie, thanks for that excellent reporting. And if you'd like more details on the specifics of the County Treasurer's Report, you can visit our website. That's WVTTnews.com. Alexa?
Well, Jeff, students and staff at the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford are on spring break, but officials are investigating an alleged hazing incident. We're hearing that a girl pledging a sorority was taken to a cemetery blindfolded, then a noose was placed around her neck. She was told to trust the sorority sisters to save her. Now, we are hearing reports that the student newspaper broke this story first. We have contacted multiple people at UPitt Bradford. We have yet to hear back on any or all of the details if they are true. Jeff.
Alexa, allegations of credit card fraud in Lewis Run in McKean County. Nearly $1,000 of fraudulent credit card charges discovered, charged to a company credit card of the ABC Corporation in Lewis Run. Now, state police tell WVTT Roger McCluskey is under investigation for the alleged fraud, and anyone with information is asked to contact PSP in Kane.
Cuba Rushford Central School District is expected to cut $338,000 in programs for the 2013-2014 school year, but work still needs to be done in determining when and where those cuts will come from in the proposed $19.97 million budget. Now, the expenditure increase in cost is primarily from negotiated salaries and mandated benefits. Now, the district is expected to prepare its annual tax report that outlines in the budget and tax cap calculations within the next month. Multiple calls again put into the district. Our calls have not yet been returned.
NYSEG and RG&E have launched a free online energy efficiency program for residential customers. Now, customers of these Iberdrola USA subsidiaries receive points that can be redeemed for discounts from online retailers based on how much energy they save. You can visit those companies' websites for more information about that program.
The company's other residential energy saving programs include the residential natural gas rebate program and the multifamily program. Since the launch of these energy efficient programs back in 2009, more than 51,000 customers have participated to save more than 72 million kilowatt hours of electricity and 2 million therms of natural gas each year.
The New York State Senate has approved a 2013-2014 state budget budget resolution earlier this week. The plan passed on Monday includes focus on helping businesses create new jobs, mandate relief to local governments, restorations to proposed cuts to women's health programs, and the Family Tax Relief Act to increase tax relief for middle-class families. The resolution also includes a proposal for a permanent 2% state spending cap. A New York cop has been found guilty in a cannibalism case. Police say Gilberto Valle was found guilty in a Manhattan court for accessing a crime database to locate a victim to kidnap, rape, torture, kill, and eat. The FBI learned that Valle was sending messages to co-conspirators to perform the deed, and a court-ordered search of his computer revealed more than 80 files of women with photos and personal details. Valle told the judge that the whole thing was a fantasy role-playing scenario, but his defense was not enough to stop the conviction.
After speaking at the local Olean Rotary Club, Senator Catherine Young is being recognized for an award given by the Rotary Club. Rotary members Rich Esposito and President Kathy Birch offered her a certificate for the donation made in her honor to End Polio Now, a Rotary-sponsored charity. Although eradicated in the U.S., polio remains a threat to 3 nations worldwide. Since 1988, the foundation helped eradicate the disease in 122 nations.
Sweeping changes to the Buffalo Bills organization, including the release of quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick, are raising concerns in the government which supports the team. State Assembly Democrats are unsure of the team's reliability despite the signing of a new lease deal signed by the state and county governments with the team. That new deal arranges a $130 million renovation of Ralph Wilson Stadium to be split amongst the 3. The Bills would pay 27%, 42% would come from the state, and 31% from the county. Now, what worries lawmakers is a clause that would allow the Bills to leave 7 years into the 10-year agreement and shirk a bulk of their payments. Lawmakers are attempting to add penalties to deter the Western New York staple from considering leaving. The Bills released a statement saying the agreement contains the gold standard for protecting the public's investment. Still to come on Twin Tiers Evening News, our first look at weather. I'll have the WVTT information overload and yet another record day for the Dow. We'll tell you just how high stocks went next on News Channel 25 WVTT. Depend on it.